Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this afternoon I thought we'd revisit the Marshall DSL1 1 watt all valve guitar amp. Right, so I'm just going to go through the pros and the cons of it. Now that I've owned it for about 3 or 4 years now. My original review of this is a few years old now. I've owned this amp for about 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I just thought it would be useful to just revisit it, see if any issues have cropped up, let you know about it, tell you what things are still great about it. So, let's not waffle, let's just get straight to it, shall we? So, first of all, the pros. Starting with the looks. The iconic Marshall looks with the black and the gold. Also just want to mention the build quality. It looks and it just feels like a Marshall. It's solid, thick, structure to it. The corner protectors, everything. It just looks and feels like a mini Marshall amplifier, even though it's only 1 watt max, right? So yeah, looks, build quality, spot on. Hasn't missed a beat in 4 years, even though it's only just been in the house, really, right? So that's that. So secondly is, right, the tone. So, if I've been messing about with sort of the iPad and guitar apps and all that, but, for me, still, nothing beats, just the clean channel of this. The immediacy of just plugging straight into a valve guitar amp. A Marshall clean, which is underrated, in my opinion. I don't think it can be beat, really. That immediacy, that response, immediate response. The only latency here is the latency between when the sound leaves the speaker and hits my ears. There's no digital stuff going on here. It's just, it's great, right? And also, going over to the overdrive channel. Well, actually, before I get there, the clean channel, if you've got it on the 0.1 mode, 0.1 watt mode, right, you can just boost that. Get your valve crunch in there, right? Switching over, that's the classic gain. Switching over to the ultra gain, with just a little bit of overdrive on there. Sorry about the glare there. That's just on number 2. So full overdrive. It's just great, isn't it? It's just immediate and it's just there. It's a Marshall. It sounds like a Marshall. Just instant gratification there. Okay, so number 3 on the pros for this is, it's the features. This is a fully featured, valve amp, even though it's only 1 watt. The features that it's got on this amp, 2 channels, right? Built-in reverb, even though it's digital. You've got the 1 watt, 0.1 watt switch on the back, so that gives you, you're going from this, which is 1 watt. Very open sounding, but then you engage the 0.1 watt and then you can really push that clean channel. But not annoy the neighbours. Switching to the overdrive and you can really boost that overdrive channel's volume. You get the idea. So that's a great feature. It's got a tone shift, which basically, when that's engaged, it gives you more of a scooped tone. If you want to doom metal or whatever. What else has it got? It's got an effects loop. It's got a speaker out. It's got everything, like, you know, it's even got an emulated out. You know, it's got everything that you would expect to find in a bigger amp. It's got everything that you need, right? Extension speaker out, the lot, right? So everything you know, it's got everything, you know, and it's just sort of going on from that, the package that it comes with as well. I mean, you get the foot switch. It's foot switchable, by the way. You know, you get the proper Marshall foot switch. They don't scrimp on the features, right? The whole package is a complete package, which I found great. You know, if you want to just get any tone that you like, you know, in the house, you want a channel switch, we'll get to that later. You can. It's got everything you need in the one box. It's great. Right, next is value. So you get all that for £235. I'll drop an affiliate link in the description. But that is amazing value for money for, you know, is it one of the cheapest valve amps on the market? You know, something like, you know, you could get something like a Fender Pro Junior. That's at least double that, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, Marshall have got it nailed on the price as well. Probably the most obvious route to valve application, you know, for recording or for at home, I would say. And speaking of valves, you know, the valve complement, it's two ECC 83s and one, I think it's an ECC 82. Correct us if I'm wrong, just drop us a comment on that. But yeah, full valve amp, right? Or is it? We'll get to that later, right? So yeah, I've had this for three or 4 years. It's been great for doing videos. To be honest with you, I've never actually recorded with it. I've always just gone down the easier, more convenient route of just using an app, you know, like a GarageBand, guitar app or whatever, just plug straight in. I've never actually mic'd it because, you know, if you were to record with this, you would have to mic it, which is another thing to get right. So just something to bear in mind if you're going to get one of these for recording guitar, you know. So let's not jump ahead. Let's now go on to the cons of this, right? So I think the first con is, you know, when you get this, right, you'll immediately clean channel. Amazing, right? No complaints. And then, you know, if you've got it on the 0.1 mode, or even if you haven't, you know, if you just crank the gain on that. You know, that crunch just comes in, it's just perfect, right? So I know that's not a con, right? But all I'm saying is, in my opinion, I think that's the best part of the amplifier, right? You've got that clean channel. It's just so pure, yeah, and it's so predictable, and it's got that lovely gain range, and you can add pedals to that and what have you, and it's just glorious. Now the problem is, when you switch to the OD channel, right? So let's just start with a mildly distorted tone in the same EQ. What happens is, so you're quite happily got this clean gun. So if you switch to the ultra gain channel, the overdrive channel, now hearing it again, it's not too bad, but I think that sort of introduces quite a bit of bass into the proceedings, right? So you have to sort of start by knocking a bit of bass off, perhaps. Let's try and increase the gain a bit. What I'm trying to say is, even at quite low gain levels, it immediately lacks the clarity of the classic gain, the clean channel, right? So because it has got that shared EQ, that is a compromise, right? So yeah, You can dial in a great lead tone. You know, no problem with that, but we've kind of had to dial it in, you know, and I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, isn't it? Some people have said, and this is true, that actually the overdrive channel is just diodes, right? It's just like an overdrive pedal. It's not, what I'm trying to say is this is not really a proper full valve amplifier because it hasn't got that valve kicking in that overdrive stage, right? You've got those two ECC83s in there, but it's actually diodes and not valves that are sort of giving you that, you know, that lead tone. So just something to bear in mind, right? And not necessarily a bad thing. You know, amplifiers have done that. Valve amplifiers have done that for decades, right? It's just some people prefer a full valve signal chain. Also worth bearing in mind that the reverb, although it's great, that's digital as well. It's not a proper reverb tank, right? In fact, before I go on, I digress a little bit. Let's just check out the reverb, because the reverb is a pro in my opinion. Lovely. I mean, even at full, you know. You know, you can get lost in that. It's just lovely reverb. So digital, but we're not gonna lose it points for that. Okay. So the next thing is, on the con side of it, in my opinion, I think it's got too many features, this amp. You know, I'm loving that clean channel. But the thing is, I would have much preferred it if it was just a clean channel and then maybe sort of like a boost, you know. I mean, I had an old a Cornfad Roadhouse 30 amplifier, and that was like a single channel amp with a boost, and that was great because you maintained that clarity. And then if you wanted to boost it, you could. And if you wanted to boost it further, you know, you had that boost dial, single boost dial. Now, for me, I think having like the twin channel setup is a bit of a gimmick for this amp, you know, at 1 watt. You know, you're not gonna be able to use it in a live scenario. You know, you're not gonna mic this up. It's not loud enough to be your monitoring amp, right? So if it's just in the house, why not just have the one channel? You know, like something like a Fender Pro Junior or whatever. It's just got, I can't see the point of it having 2 channels. I can't see the point of it having the foot switch. You know, the tone shift, I don't really use that. The emulated out, you know, it's a very old fashioned emulated out. Would I use that? No, I don't. Do I want to hook it up to a cab? No, it's just for in the house. This has got too many features for me. I mean, obviously I've bought it now, so there's an argument that it can't have too many features, but I would like it to be more stripped down, is what I'm saying. And I don't think the features are making it more practical, right? Why would you need channel switching on a 1 channel on a 1 watt 0.1 watt amplifier? Drop us a comment. It's just my opinion. Yeah, so not practical really. And that's only the real cons about it for me. You know, I wish it was more simple. I wish it was just the one channel focusing on that glorious, clean channel. So, what do I want to change about it? I guess, like I say, one channel. I mean, it would be great if we stripped out all those features and had like a 10-inch speaker, made the cab slightly bigger, maybe a 10-inch speaker in there instead of the 8-inch. Sometimes a little bit boxy sounding. Some people have said that's probably right. Strip out the emulation, strip out the tone shift. What about Bluetooth? I would love it if this had Bluetooth, and it had a proper USB out to go direct to a recording interface. That would be great as well. So yeah, those are just some of the things that I would improve about it. I think what Marshall have done is they've gone to get the classic looks in there, and it wouldn't have been the classic looks if it was a single channel. Although I guess they could have went for a more vintage style model, like a GTM or whatever, or like a miniature blues breaker or something like that. That would have been amazing, But for £235, I think they've just tried to cover all of the bases for all players, really, which is kind of admirable, really, and it's obviously it's worked for them. This is one of the most popular amplifiers on the market, really. So yeah, like I say, if you want to purchase it and you want to help the channel out, I'll drop an affiliate link in the description. Anything else to cover? Not really. £235. Yeah. This is going to stay with me. The thing is, what's the alternative, right? Fender Pro Junior, simpler, much, much, much more expensive. Would I be able to get the Marshall tone out of it? Doubt it. You've got the sort of the modeling amps. You wouldn't get that immediacy. Let's go for the everything on 10. Everything on 10 with the overdrive. Everything on 10. Would you get that from a modeling amp? No. So anyway, I am off now. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. If you enjoy the content, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I'm getting towards that 1,000 subscriber mark. I would love to hit that, this year. If you could help us out, I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.